This is now part B of the second experiment, cold working and hardness testing. So 2B is hardness testing. The objective to understand what is hardness and how it can be used to indicate other properties of materials, to conduct a typical engineering hardness test, and to be able to recognize commonly used hardness scales and numbers. Apparatus and materials again list the equipment, machine, tools used in this experiment and the materials tested. Look at the video to find these details. Procedure, same thing, write the step-by-step procedure. Go and carefully watch the video to write these steps. In the results and discussion, calculate the average of the 3 Rockwell hardness values for each sample. We will take one sample and we will take, you will see in the video, values at different points. You have a sample, you take hardness value here, hardness value here, hardness value here, so that you take at least 3 or 4 readings and then take the average of those readings so that you are right. Compare the hardness values and rank your material with respect to hardness. Compare hardness values with the values with other mechanical properties, percent cold work, microstructure, etc. for each specimen. So discuss that. So do you understand that you have some brass plate, right? The first group starts with one brass plate. You measure the hardness of this brass plate, you note it down. You go to the mechanical workshop where there is rolling machine. You reduce its thickness by a certain amount. So for example, from half a centimeter, which is say I don't know, 5 millimeters, right? If it goes to 4 millimeters, then you find the percent change in thickness in the first time. So now this is the percent cold work. Once this is done, then bring it back to the hardness machine and make measurements of hardness. So you have 3 or 4 readings of hardness of the original sample. Then after the first 10% or something of cold work, you have hardness. Then the same sample, you again, the other group goes to the machine again, for example, if it is happening in real, and you do further cold work, right? So this way you take a sample and you increasingly you do cold work every time, 10% cold work, 20%, 30% or whatever, and each time you measure hardness at different points. So for the original condition and for each value of percent cold work, you have the hardness values. So now in the end, make a table that this was the percent cold work and this was the average hardness. Write all the hardness values and the average hardness. Remember, right? Because you are recording, you are making a table. So percent cold work is one thing, that this was the initial thickness, this was the final thickness after cold work. So this is percent cold work. Then in one column, write all the 3 or 4 hardness readings, and then write in another column the average hardness reading. So now you have a table in which percent cold work against average hardness is there. Now draw on one graph. It is very simple. Draw on one side the average hardness, on the other side the percent cold work, and 0 cold work is the original material. So now you have a straight line or a curve or whatever, and then you discuss that the way the curve is going, it is an increasing graph, it is a decreasing graph, it is a linear graph, it is a non-linear graph, compared to the theory that you did in the chapter on material properties, on hardness and so on, and cold work. Does it make sense? Experiment 3 is toughness and impact testing, right? So again, any part of this lab manual that you want to understand in more detail, you go to the lectures, you go to the video lectures, you go to the PDF lectures and so on. And toughness and impact testing we have done there. So objectives: conduct Sharpie or IZOD impact testing on various heat treated steel samples. So generally we have samples which are either Sharpie samples, all of them, or all of them are IZOD samples. It will be written, it will be described in the video, and it will be written in the file where the values are given. And they are heat treated to different, right? It is tempered to 200 degrees, tempered to 300 degrees, tempered to 400 degrees. So those samples are like that all the samples are either IZOD or all the samples are Sharpie, and each of the sample has a different heat treatment. So this is the objective, and study the fractured surface. Study the fractured surface, that after it breaks down, because in impact testing it will break into 2 pieces. So what is the pattern? If the picture of the broken pieces are not shown here, then you can go to the internet and see that what were the samples. Were they heat treated samples. So then you can go and say that fractured surface of impact testing on heat treated steels, and you can get some 1 or 2 pictures and so on from there. Apparatus and materials, again look at the video and write what materials, equipment, tools and so on have been used. Procedure, again look at the video very carefully and write the step-by-step procedure in a, again sorry for that, not a standard tensile test, in a standard toughness test, in a standard toughness test. This is my copy paste, my problem, so I am sorry for that, but here it is impact test, so in a standard impact test. Results and discussion, please present all the results in a tabular form. You have sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4, and you have their impact toughness values in energy units. And this is like 200 tempering, this is 300 tempering, 400 tempering and so on. Compare and comment on the toughness value, which is the energy absorbed, and the apparent modes of fracture surface of all specimens. So this, if the pictures are not available, then again, if you go to the internet and say, if I have a steel which has been tempered at 200, tempered at 300, tempered at 400, then how does the fracture surface look? So if you can download that very quickly, you are 4 to 5 people in each group, it is not a big issue, then you can compare on the fracture surfaces. Discuss how tempering affects toughness of the material, right? That you see, for this much tempering, this is the toughness, for this much tempering, this is the toughness. So if you increase the tempering temperature, does the toughness value increase or decrease? And if you make a small graph that this is the tempering temperature, this is the toughness value, or the other way around, then is it a linear graph? Is it varying linearly? It is varying non-linearly, and you comment on it. Experiment 4, the last experiment, is heat treatment, where we will do only annealing, hardness testing and microstructure, right? Microstructure. You have done all of these things in your chapter that we have covered. Objectives: study the effect of annealing time on recovery, recrystallization and grain growth of plastically deformed cold rolled metal. Perform hardness testing after different annealing times. Conduct microscopic examination. So you see, what we want to do is, we want to study heat treatment, that we have some. So what we will do, you will go to the video and you will see that the brass sample that you did, the brass sample that you took, at the end of the cold working, you see, you did one cold work, then another cold work, then another cold work, then another cold work. So maybe 10%, 20%, 30%. So at the end you have a sample which is extremely high cold work at the end. So you will take that sample, and there may be more than one, you will take that sample and you will cut a small piece of that sample and do the microscopy. Do the microscopy, that if it was extremely hardly cold work, right, a lot of cold work, 20%, 30%, 40% cold work was done, then the microstructure, the grains and so on, they look like what pattern, right? So the microstructure, you have seen that when we did rolling, remember in the lectures, then they were very long needles, this, that. So you will start with the brass sample that has been maximum cold worked, then and you do a small, you cut a small piece and do its microscopy. With the remaining sample, you take it to tempering. You do the tempering in a furnace. Say you are doing tempering at 100 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Celsius. So you keep the temperature at 200 and you do tempering for 10 minutes, for example, and you take it out. You do tempering for 10 minutes, you take it out. Once it is cold, then you take a small piece of it and do the microscopy. So now you know that after tempering for 10 minutes, how does the microstructure look? So similarly, right, you temper it now, again put it back, temper it for 20 minutes, temper it for 30 minutes and so on, and you see the microstructure. Also, before you start heat treatment, you have the original brass sample with the maximum cold work, you have its hardness value. So hardness is also important. When you do first tempering, say for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever you will see in the video, and then you take it out, Then before you do the microstructure and so on, you also go to the hardness machine and take 3-4 readings, that after the first tempering, what was the hardness value. So therefore you do the heat treatment, you do the hardness, and you do the microstructure, right? And in again, when you go to the videos and so on, the description of how the microstructure is done, what are these steps, how do you prepare the sample, you grind it, polish it, do the etching, take it under the microscope, how do you look at, and you will see that in the end on that Google Drive that Engineer Saeed has given to you, there will be 2 micrographs also, 2 micrographs, real micrographs of your brass at, say, after maximum cold work and after maximum tempering, or at least 2. We are not giving you all the pictures of every stage, but at least 2 major, so that you can compare that the microstructure, when the tempering was very low temperature or when the tempering was very high temperature, how does it look, so you compare on it. Apparatus and materials, the same comment, go to the video and see what are the materials used, what are the machines used, the machines for heat treatment, the machines for hardness, the machines for microstructure, what are they and what are the tools. In the procedure also, what is the procedure? Write a procedure for heat treatment. For hardness, you just write one sentence that please see procedure in the previous experiment. But one procedure for heat treatment step by step, and one procedure for microstructure evaluation step by step. In the results and discussion, record the results, annealing time and hardness, right? Each annealing time and hardness in a table form. Plot a graph between annealing time and hardness. Sketch the microstructures. You don't have to do that because you just copy and paste the microstructure pictures that Engineer Saeed has already shown to you. But sketch the recovery, recrystallization and grain growth diagrams and justify your experimental results. So this you can try, however, and then compare and comment on the change in hardness values with annealing time and on the change in microstructure, right? Because the hardness values are changing with annealing time and the microstructure is changing with annealing time. So make some comments and some scientific justification for that.